Heyo everyone, Misha B. Barkin here. This June, a local furry group that I joined back in February had a furry meetup, which they called Fuzz Out in the park. Other than the Pride Parade in June, this was the first time I took Misha out, and it was definitely the first time I took him to a furry event. So how did it go? Well, I got on the bus early in the morning and rode to the park, and boy was I really anxious the entire time. Like I stated before, I have a really active brain, one that likes to over-exaggerate every possible negative thing that could happen. I'm sure many of you can relate. So I got off the bus and saw someone I knew, so originally I kinda clung on to them, and I don't think we knew each other were furries. I mean, he dressed up as Wolf O'Donnell one year for Halloween, so honestly I don't know how I didn't catch on. Anyway, the meeting was actually pretty large in scale, with around 30 to 50 furries there, if I remember correctly. This is pretty large considering I hadn't seen any furry presence before this, and the Telegram chat I'm in has roughly 200 people spanning all across the Pacific Northwest. Obviously, I was very shy at this meetup, as I almost always am, and it took almost half the time to break the ice and start talking, let alone suiting. As I've stated before, I am not a confident person, so breaking out of this mold is something that I always struggle with, and it usually takes me a sizable amount of time to do so. Once I did start talking around though, I really started enjoying my time. I met some really awesome people, such as O2, who gave me a sticker to add to my water bottle, as well as Peanut the Dragon Kitty and Kataro, both local suit makers around the PN Dub. Sidetracking a bit, one thing I really enjoy about being in such a broad fandom is the different veils of creativity and the different hobbies everyone has. Myself, Orion, as well as another very good friend of mine, Denali Wolfdog, are musicians, with myself specializing in woodwinds, Denali in the French horn, and Orion in the trumpet. Peanut and Kataro are both suit makers, specializing in the arts and crafts side of the fandom, and the two others I met, Miles and Ace, both specialize in art. We are all very different people with different talents and ambitions, bonded together by one simple feat. We're all furries. This enough is able to get very different people talking, and is one of my favorite parts of this fandom. Anyway, once I started suiting, I have to say the reception of Marshmallow was really positive. Everyone seemed to love him, and thought he was super cute. I'm really humbled and delighted that people seem to really like Misha as much as they do. It was once I put Misha on that I really broke out of my shell and was able to connect and talk with people. I was having fun, giggling, being myself around these people, whom at the beginning of the day were complete strangers, but were now people I'd consider my friends. There were other normies in the park, but as the day went on, I didn't really care. At first I was very self-conscious of the other people, but slowly stopped caring and just did my own thing, as they did. Was I noticed? Yeah, a giant upright dog would stand out in any social setting. The thing about it was though, no one really made fun of us or said anything negative. It was very live and let live. Some people even wanted pictures actually. I just didn't let them looking or observing get to me. I know this is easier said than done, but eventually it got easier to do. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. Put your name out there. Ever since I joined this chat, I've met so many new friends whom I can bond over us being furries. I've felt less alone and have people who I can talk to and be myself around without feeling like I have to conform to some sort of socially acceptable quota. I actually found the group through being messaged on Howler, interesting enough. The chat admin messaged me and invited me to the group, and well, the rest is history.